Please, Mr. President, no more winning. We can't take any more winning, Mr. President. What's going on, you guys? It's Jay here, and welcome back to the channel. Let me know in the comment section if you have had enough winning at this point, and let me know how my sound quality is. I'm not having a good time here with my UK setup. I'm really missing my setup in the United States, where we've got the office for Lunk Pump. Fun. We're taking a look quickly at crypto bubbles, and honestly, it's not looking good. Gold's rising, silver's rising, aeronautical stocks are rising, defense stocks are rising. All of the things that you do not want to see going up during a time of global uncertainty. And when it comes down to crypto, crypto is a very uncertain sector, and that's why we have a lot of volatility. But something I've been saying to everybody recently is the fact that regulations are coming thick and they're coming fast. And what this actually means on a broader scale is stability. Stability is going to be rolling into the crypto ecosystem. And I really do think the last kind of, if you will, the Nassau of where the pirates went during the age of piracy. It's definitely going to be meme coins, altcoins, and the DeFi sector. It's going to be that gray zone that really stands there and has the final say on what was crypto before regulation and stability came in. And I keep saying to people, we're going to walk into a situation, right, where we end up with the Google of crypto. And you better believe, from my perspective, and this isn't financial advice, this isn't me saying, go dollar cost average into your positions or whatever. It's me saying to everybody that I believe Ripple is going to be the Google of crypto. And I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how they're going to achieve it on that broader scale, but you can tell that's what they're walking towards. It's quite obvious now. They are going to begin acquiring different platforms, different entities to bolster their already existing ecosystem that has been deemed a cryptocurrency, that has been deemed not a security. So again, we're walking into different times where this market regulation coming in is very positive, but there's a lot of negativity bias out there with the overall crypto market. And honestly, it starts to boil down, I really do believe this, to platforms like X. When I look at that Black Monday narrative that we just went through, and people are like, oh, you've survived Black Monday. Oh, chill before we turn into unhappy catty. Now, when people are doing this, it's effectively, we always see the same thing. Oh, we don't know where the news came from. It's quite obvious that this is starting to drip feed in from mainstream media. And you better believe, right, that these bigger players, whoever they are, Fox News, whatever, they're going to want to get their greedy little claws into crypto so they can feed it with lies, so they can control and manipulate the market. And when we've got the majority of crypto users sat on X, doom scrolling, refreshing, looking for good news, they cling to absolutely everything. And it becomes dangerous because X, yes, it's free speech, but it's also pay to speak. So this means an average Joe who can't afford that very, very expensive top tier subscription isn't going to be heard as much as that person with the top tier subscription. This is a very strange form of free speech because effectively it is and it isn't. And yeah, it's having a huge effect on the market. And we saw another false narrative spun up of a possible 90-day pause on tariffs. This was unusual to watch unfold because we saw Bitcoin climb all the way up to 80K. The White House then comes out and they say, well, this is actually fake news. What happens? Bam, goes all the way back down to where it was. This was honestly the perfect, and I mean it, the perfect time to open a long and then open a short straight afterwards. And this comes down to market manipulation and who has the power to really make these kind of things happen. Well, the bigger players that already exist in the media sector, like Fox News and Sky News and whoever your local news are, you better believe they're trying to get their claws into crypto. So something that I found quite interesting, and the situation really with LUNC remaining a decentralized entity is very important because, again, I believe DeFi is going to be that final place everybody flocks to when crypto becomes less volatile, when we're walking into this area of regulation, this bottleneck, this choke point, if you will. And they've said a few times, oh, Operation Choke Point 2.0 is over. And what that actually means is Operation Choke Point 3.0 is now in place. And 3.0 is going to whittle it down, like I said, to a very few cryptos where you might only see 10, 20, 30, maybe 40, maybe 50 cryptocurrencies really make it to the end. So the situation really was around this upgrade for LUNC is the security flaw that we were made aware of, and it was done in a private way. It was done behind the scenes, but it wasn't given to the ecosystem. It was found. And it was found just like every other thing that gets found, and every other security flaw that we ever patch gets found. And what the people behind this upgrade were trying to do was use that security flaw as a wedge, a rather large wedge, a centralized wedge, if you will, and to drive it into our ecosystem and say, well, look, this is actually why we need a centralized DAO to control all of the upgrades, all of the security stuff, to micromanage the connection between chain and CEX and to work with all of these DXs and third party platforms. We've been through this many times before. We know it's bad news all round when someone starts walking towards that. But the fact that they were using and utilizing a security flaw that they said was detrimental, they said they would have missed it. They said it wouldn't have got done. You know, we really needed this DAO to effectively see that upgrade roll out. And as we can see, mandatory and important security patches related to the Cosmos SDK, WASM VM, and IBC Go. So although they were driving this narrative effectively, again, one of these false narratives, and X being utilized and weaponized to drive such a narrative into a community, is leading us to a situation where, again, they were wrong. We didn't need a centralized entity to get this done. We acted as a decentralized ecosystem, and we are the community that can. And I'm always going to stand against any centralized attempt on this ecosystem. So let's drive over to the trading view chart. And yeah, I did say drive over. I've got to flick over to the next computer over, use the KVM switch. So here we go. We are back. Now, what a lot of people are calling this area here from Trump's inauguration is the Trump dump. And we're also, just before the inauguration, also seeing the Trump pump. Now, why I'm very focused at the moment on the trading side of, and the charting side, if you will, of Lunar Classic is we're doing something that's not normal. Every other chart out there is acting differently. It's now a situation where the chart is saying to us, well, there could be some short-term gain, or there's going to be more long-term pain. And what this means is we're either going to go up or we're going to go down. And this is ultimately down to two patterns that are possibly playing out. We've got a descending triangle here, as you can see, but we've also got the opportunity of a triple bottom. And this is all going to be down to the volume leading up to it. It's going to be down to the downtrend prior to it. And if we just look down here at the bottom and we take another line, we go through to the volume, we can see a downtrend up until the point of that triple bottom possibly forming. And what this is telling us is there's now a spike in volume. So this, from my perspective, is now a little bit uncertain. We could see the price of LUNC go up, or we could see it come down with the market. And I think this is going to be ultimately down to whatever Trump says next, whatever the Bank of England in the United Kingdom do next, as they might be raising interest rates. And yeah, it's going to have effect on crypto because it affects the European Union, it affects the United States, and we could see more tariffs roll out. So we're now in a situation where we're at the mercy of BTC. And what this is now all going to boil down to, from my perspective, is building. We need to ensure that we remain as loud as possible. We continue rolling out different tools that can be used and utilized by the broader community. And then it really doesn't matter what happens during these times when effectively we're bouncing on similar levels. The entire market's freaking out, yet LUNC is just back in an area that it's been down to before. We've been at these lows, we've seen the highs. We're a community that picked up somebody else's problem and decided to carry it into the future. We really are, like I say, the community that will act decentralized and will not allow a centralized entity to ever take over. But yeah, just here at the end, I'm very uncertain as to what's going to happen, if we're going to go up, if we're going to go down. This pattern needs a little bit more time to play out. We need to see a bigger confirmation out there, and ultimately it could and it will be invalidated by BTC if we see more negative news rollout from Donald Trump, the United States sector, if we see interest rates rise in the United Kingdom. So yeah, keep an eye on gold prices, keep an eye on silver prices, watch those aeronautical stocks, watch the defense stocks, and keep an eye on the total crypto market cap, because all of these things are going to determine whether we go up or whether we go down. And if we can better understand these things, then we're not going to be afraid of where the market's going, and we can better understand that we are an ecosystem that's continuing to build, produce products during a time of uncertainty. But yeah, let me know how things are going for you guys, and let me know if there's anything you want me to cover on the channel. There's not a great deal going on at the moment. It's just more knuckled down work. We're pushing stuff out. There's tools for you guys to use and utilize, and we're doing a few more videos on that in the future. But yeah, stay safe, stay humble, stay aware, and I'll catch you in the next one.